I feel like I haven't sat down here for a while. Honestly, am I okay? Anyway, this is a new angle that we've unlocked. I don't know why this idea has only just struck me, but here we are. Yeah. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ria, and in today's video we are going to be going over all of my anticipated releases for the rest of 2026, and we can kind of just go into what I've got so far for 2027. There are a few that we've got so far that go into next year, and I may as well include them in this video because we're already 5 months into 2025. Oh my god, what? Am I okay? 2026. I've got some really exciting releases coming up and I cannot wait to get my hands on them. Let's get into it. I have a load of books still to come out this year, as I'm sure everyone else does. So I have obviously had a list of releases composed on my phone for a while now, and I love to just have a countdown tracker to keep on track with all my releases and all the books that I want to get my hands on as they come out. So of course, like I said, I put it all into a tracker for me to follow so I don't ever forget about them, so I know what's coming when it comes. I'll start with the releases I've got for the next few months. The first upcoming release that is literally coming out in 2 days time is Amid Clouds and Bones by Ella Fields. This is obviously one that's been published in the past as a self-published version, but I am so excited for this book. I have wanted to pick it up for a minute, but I don't often think about it, and it's not the sort of book that I usually mention on any of my like highly anticipated releases. It is an anticipated release, but that's just because it's re-releasing and because I didn't get the opportunity to get my hands on it before. So I'm excited to be able to read it now. I honestly have no expectations going into it. I think the only time I've ever really seen it talked about is when What Emmy Reads read it. But even then, I feel I didn't hear any of the actual plot or the story, what it's about. So I have no idea what I'm going into. The next release I have is One for the Road, which is by Elliot Fletcher, and honestly I think I have seen other books by the same author. I might have just pre-ordered one out of the blue because it was on like a Waterstones deal or something, I'm not fully sure. It's in the same series as Whiskey Business and Scotch on the Rocks. I haven't read either of those, would you believe it, but I do have Whiskey Business downloaded on my Kindle right this second, so this may be my excuse to get around to it at some point very soon, who knows. I have just heard amazing things about this series in general, and I do believe, like I said, it was on a day where certain paperbacks were 25% off. I think that is why I pre-ordered it, so I'm excited. And again, like I said, it's in a series that I'm anticipating because I do really want to read Whiskey Business. I've heard such amazing things, but I know nothing about it because I've not read any of the books and I've not really seen it talked about much. We then have Kissed by the Gods, which also comes out on the 4th of June. This is by Katie Rogan. I feel like I have recently seen this everywhere. I don't know if this was previously indie published or self-published, but I've seen it everywhere and I just thought I may as well pre-order it. It sounds good. I've read the blurb, it sounds great. So it's just another fantasy to get my hands on and to be able to read at some point soon. I don't know much about this book because, like I said, I just saw the cover and I thought, let me try it. I can't remember if I did actually. I can't remember the blurb. Oh, I remember this. Okay, so the synopsis is: they came to take her brother, instead they met her scythe. Every year the gods demand boys for the mines. When Lena slaughters the soldiers who come for her brother, she expects death. Instead she's claimed by a goddess and thrown into a world of winged war horses, warring gods, cursed monsters, and riots? the God-sworn warrior, ordered to keep her in line. Bound by duty, shaped by discipline, and right is everything she's not, but he sees the fire in her, the power, the danger. Lena never asked to be chosen, and she's certainly not interested in saving the kingdom that enslaved her people. But destiny has other plans, and the gods should fear what they've awakened. That sounds good. That sounds like it would be a strong introduction to a series, and it sounds like my sort of thing. It sounds like right up my street, and I feel like if I have read something like that, I have enjoyed it, so maybe it's just what I need when it comes out, so I'm very excited for that. The next book I have on this list is The Very Definition of Love by Sophia Benoit. This is a pre-order. I think I saw this while scrolling through... What was I doing that made me want to pick this up? Something Regency. The entire reason I pre-ordered this book is because literally last week I rewatched The Princess Diaries and The Princess Diaries 2, and I obviously came off of that wanting a Regency book, and I don't really want to read Bridgerton because I've not heard great things about the books and just like the way the men are in them, so I don't really want to pick Bridgerton up. And I was looking at sort of the next best, like just scrolling through the Kindle app, looking for Regency romances, and this came up, and I was gonna download it straight away because it just looks and sounds so good, but it's a pre-order and it's coming out on the 23rd of June. Not that long, but I am very excited for this because literally, have you seen the cover? It's gorgeous. I'm so excited. I love the cover. It's a very recent pre-order, literally just last week, but I'm so excited for it. I need to start branching out a bit more, and I do want to try some Regency romances, especially after watching The Princess Diaries. That is so my vibe. So if you've got any recommendations, send them over. I'm so excited to try this book out. Again, I don't think I want to read Bridgerton. I might end up picking it up at some point anyway. I think for now I'm gonna try to avoid it and read some other books. It might get me. Every time a new season comes out, I do want to pick it up. I've avoided it for so long, and like I said, I've heard so many things about the MMCs in it being very not, I don't know, but just not my vibe. Can't get over the cover. I then have the re-release of Daggermouth by H.M. Wolf, which is obviously going to be a hardback. It comes out on the 25th of June. I feel like June's a jam-packed month, what the hell. I just about managed to get my hands on the self-published version before it went out of print, so I'm not waiting for that to come out before I can read it, but I am also looking forward to getting the traditionally published version because obviously then it will match the later release of Python, is that the name? Book 2 in the series, so I will have matching set of that. I love the self-published cover, and I'm not a massive fan of the standard UK hardback edition, so we'll see. I think I've got the alternative cover coming. I do prefer the self-published cover, but it doesn't matter. Then we go into July, which is not quite as full. I then have Duskbound coming out on the 16th of July, which is obviously the second book in, I don't know what the series is called. It follows Riftborn and it's by Greenwich and Lennox, so I'm very excited to get that, and I will hopefully have read Riftborn before that comes out. I'm trying to get up to date and just follow along as they come out because I'm very excited for the series. I did have the indie book, but I never read it because I had left it so long that I wanted to wait for the traditional versions to be published. So then if there were any minor or major changes to the story or the plot, the grammar, I wouldn't have differences. I wouldn't read the indie version and then be potentially missing information or having certain information that I shouldn't going into Duskbound or The Ascended. Honestly, so excited for that series. I have very high expectations going into it, and I will hopefully love Riftborn to then go straight into Duskbound when it comes out. I then have a release I feel I've not seen anywhere. I think the publication date for this next release has been pushed back by a few days-ish. I had the 30th of July, but now on Waterstones it's showing as the 4th of August, which is literally like, what, 5 days. That is Stillborn by Taylor J. LaRue. Sorry, this is a Waterstones exclusive and it's so cool. The sprayed edges look cool. I feel like I haven't seen anything about this book and I genuinely don't know what I'm going into or expecting, but just based on the cover, it looks great. Let me see the synopsis. Enter a world ruled by tyrants and thieves where magic is outlawed, revelation brews, desire is dangerous, and an impossible cure may prove deadlier than the curse. Never run, never bow, never die. Rhea Connery became the Crimson Dagger, the most notorious thief in Reterra, by following a strict set of rules. When there is no honour among thieves. 2. A good blade is key to any negotiation. 3. Only the dead keep secrets. And Rhea has a secret that must be kept at all costs. But when a heist goes wrong on the eve of paying off her debt to a ruthless criminal lord, Rhea may need a new set of rules and a lot of coin fast. Enter Kalen? Salen? Oh my god, I don't know. I'm gonna need a pronunciation guide. Halcyon? An immortal warrior whose magic makes him a valuable target. If the curse inching closer to his heart doesn't kill him first, there's just one person who might be desperate enough to try and get their hands on the fabled cure in time to save his life. Someone whose legend claims they can steal anything, the Crimson Dagger. A male of honour, Kalen loathes everything the beautiful, cocky thief represents, yet knows that Rhea is his last hope for survival. Their search takes them to the edge of the known world, where Rhea discovers that there is far more at stake than her and Kalen's own lives. Now Rhea must confront deadly foes. Her growing attraction to the immortal, who is as lethal as his jawline, is perfect, and the rage she spent a long time trying to bury. I'm sorry, it kind of does lose me when a synopsis is that long. It sounds good. That sounds good. So, high hopes, but I honestly don't know. Then we move on to The Knave and the Moon by Rachel Gillig, of course. This comes out on the 1st of September and I am so excited for this book. I might reread The Night of the Moth before going into this because it's only a duology, so I feel like it means I can conclude the series well and be to my full knowledge of what happened previously. So excited to have this second book and to have the conclusion to the duology. I miss them and I miss the story and I cannot wait to see where it goes next. I just love how atmospheric her reads are as well. She just knows how to write a good... Why am I forgetting the words? Gothic? Setting. She knows how to write a good gothic setting and she knows how to make it atmospheric for that. It's probably one of my more anticipated releases for this year. I think up until this point there haven't been that many that are like I am waiting on bated breath for, and I think this is the point in the year where all the really good and exciting releases start to come out. Literally, where are you gonna find me in September? Sat down in bed with my Kindle in my hands. I then have The Thief and the Traitor Bride coming out by V.L. Bovolino, but I have not yet read The Second Death of Locke. I mean, I have a minute to read it in that period of time from now until the 29th of September. I will hopefully have it read by then, but if not, who knows. I'm very excited for it. I obviously don't know if I will have enjoyed The Second Death of Locke and then want to go into The Thief and the Traitor Bride, but fingers crossed because I have high hopes and high expectations after seeing the hype surrounding it. And I obviously won't read the blurb because it could have spoilers for me and you. Then we jump to the end of October with Hearts of Flame by Briar Bolin. I don't yet know if I'm going to keep this as a pre-order because I really enjoyed On Wings of Blood, but then going into book 2 I had high expectations and I didn't love it. I don't know what it was for me, but it fell a little bit flat and I just kind of lost the love for book 1 with book 2, and I have not yet picked up book 3, so I will read that, and then hopefully if I do enjoy it, I will obviously keep the pre-order, and then if I don't, I will DNF the series and obviously cancel my pre-order. I mean, I've got it because I wanted to pre-order the book that matches the set I've got going on. That's kind of where I'm at with the series so far. If I go into book 3 and I really love the book, obviously, I will then be really excited for book 4. But at the moment, I'm kind of like, will I, won't I, with book 3 anyway. So I obviously don't know if going into book 3, I hate it, I will cancel my pre-order. Then a week later, we get ACOTAR 6. No title yet, just ACOTAR 6. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if I've got words. I don't know. I don't know if this is the long book or the short book, because one of them is like 200 pages, I swear. Oh yeah, ACOTAR 6 is 352 pages. Why is it so short but so expensive? But then you get ACOTAR 7, which is 1,000. I might wait for both of them to be out because it's only a few months later. I could wait 3 months. I don't know. I have high expectations. I don't even know if I really care about ACOTAR anymore. I'm through and through a Throne of Glass girl. I just don't know if I have it in me anymore to care about ACOTAR. I just don't love any of the characters aside from Azriel and Nesta. My love for it isn't there anymore. But I also have no words. I actually can't believe another book is, like, there's an actual date for another book. I thought it would never come. I then have Cardinal Rule, Wilderwood's book 1 by Liz Tomfordy. I feel like this is honestly my most anticipated release of this year. 2 books in 1 year is insane. I don't think we've ever gotten that from her before, but I am not complaining. But I'm also just so excited to see this new series from her and to have a whole set of new characters just to be starting this series as they all release, because going into Windy City, I started reading the series just as Caught Up came out. I think I'd read Mile High and then The Right Move, and like as I'd finished them, Caught Up released. I think there were still indie editions around when I started reading the series, but I honestly just can't wait to be one of the people there when it starts and be there the entire timeline of it being released. Can't wait. And I knew the series was coming. I knew these characters were going to get their own books. I actually don't know, do we know which sibling it's about yet? I'm so excited. Can't wait to be back in her world and to have a new setting and a new location with new characters, newfound family, new stories. How is she going to deliver this time? How? I'm so excited. I then have Fae and Alchemy book 3, which I feel back in the day when I first read Quicksilver, almost 2 years ago I think it was, I would have been so excited to be looking forward to Fae and Alchemy book 3, but honestly I didn't feel the love with Brimstone. I don't know if that's again because I listened to it over fully reading it, but at the time I could not pick up the book at all. I don't know if I need to do a reread of Quicksilver and Brimstone and then go into book 3. Back before I would have been so excited for it and I'm just not. And I don't know where it went downhill. I'm sure it's just me on this side of things because, like I said earlier, audiobooks aren't great if I want to absolutely adore a book. So I don't know, but I think I need a reread before I go into book 3 just so I'm fully back with it, because I didn't remember the story from Quicksilver, so I feel like that could have been my mistake. I did want to have a reread but then I didn't. My mistake, I guess. I'm obviously excited to see where the story goes and to continue it. I didn't hate Brimstone by any means. I just didn't adore it the way I did Quicksilver. So I need to just refresh my memory at the time, and hopefully I will enjoy book 3 a bit more, and I'm excited, like I said, to see where the story continues to go and to see how it picks up. Then we have another one of my most anticipated releases of 2026, The Wolf Queen. which is coming out now on the 17th of November. So it's later than anticipated, but I literally don't care. That will pass so fast. I have not been this excited over a fantasy trilogy wrap up in so long, because I loved The Wolf King so much. That was my first 5-star for that was literally up until I read In Her Own League. That was my only 5-star for literally 6 months. Am I being... No. Yeah, that was literally my only 5-star for such a long time. I missed that period of time where I was reading The Wolf King because I could not put it down. I loved it. I had so much fun, and I cannot wait to see how she wraps up this trilogy because it's been so good so far and I have such high hopes. It could be one of my new top fantasy series I've read. It is at the moment as it stands anyway. I'm very excited. And not only that, but just to see where the plot actually goes. I think I've said before, but at the end of The Night Prince, I genuinely had no idea what was going on, who to believe. I was just a bit mind blown. And it might have been because it was late at night and I was a bit tired, delusional, the entire lot. Still to this day, I have no idea what was going on, who I could believe. I have no trust in anyone. I'm excited to see how it continues after that. Then I have The Soulmate by Lana Ferguson. I recently read The Fake Mate by her and I actually had such fun. I think I ended up rating it like a 3-star, but I still had such a good time in reading the book, and I cannot wait to go into The Mating Game, which is the second book following The Fake Mate. I needed a book like that, especially after reading Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I just had such a fun time, and I think for me a book like that will always hit. I need more. So obviously I just had to quickly pre-order it anyway because I'd read it no matter what, so I can't wait to have that in my hands. But that does come out on the 1st of December, so it's a long time until then. I mean, I say that time is going so fast, so it's gonna be a minute until I have that, but that gives me time to read The Mating Game in between. Ali Hazelwood, Lana Ferguson, I mean, I've only read one Lana Ferguson book, but it's just the same vibe, that it's fun, fast-paced, read in one sitting books. The type of book I will always love to sit down and read. I can't wait to see what she comes up with. That actually concludes the anticipated releases I've got for 2026. But I do have 3 books for 2027. The first 2027 release I've got is ACOTAR 7, 12th of January, 930 pages. That's going to be a banger to start my year off with. It's going to be like alchemized all over again. Obviously I will read it when it comes out, but I'm thinking I might actually wait for both of ACOTAR 6 and 7 to be out. I think it just might be easier. I mean, that would be over 1,000 pages of reading. That sounds fun. But then I might have to wait ages for 8. I then have Python by H.M. Wolf, which is the follow-up and the second book after Daggermouth, which comes out on the 30th of March next year. That gives me ages to finish Daggermouth. I obviously haven't finished Daggermouth yet. I don't know what the ending is, so I don't know what there is to even think about, to expect in book 2. I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. The last book I have on pre-order at the moment for 2027, which comes out on the 1st of June 2027, is Unrivaled by Rachel Reed, which is obviously book 3 about Ilya and Shane in the Game Changers series. I also haven't read the entire series yet, so I don't know what the long game is going to end like to expect going into book 3. But it will be very exciting to find out, and hopefully by the time it's released I will have updated myself with that series. And who knows, we might have season 2 already. I think that's wishful thinking, but who knows. Those are all the releases I have coming out in the next year or so. 2026 and then into 2027. I'm sure there will be many more by the time we get around to actually going into 2027. We will reconvene at the beginning of 2027, I guess, to see what anticipated releases I have for then. For now, that is it. For now, you'll catch me reading these books as and when they come out. I will see you hopefully then to read them with you guys. Anyway, that is it. Like I said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Please let me know if you like this video, like, subscribe, comment. You know I love to hear from you, so if you did. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon in the next one.